the Big Friendly Swim podcast. I'm the Big Friendly host, and today's guests are swimmers at Cal Poly. Evan, you, Alex, Seybold. How we doing, guys?
We're doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I was thinking about the team like all day yesterday. It
Mhm.
just kind of put me in this perpetual state of like I'm worried for college swimming, and I'm really glad we are able to get you guys on here to talk about it. But first thing I want to do, really important. Tell me about your season. I want to highlight like all the good you guys did this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this season, without a doubt, was the best that we've had in school history. I mean, in terms of accomplishments, we finished the highest place we ever have at conference. We broke more than a dozen team records, top 5 times at the school. We had the men's team actually had the highest team GPA at the school fall quarter, so that was another big accomplishment. And we actually had 3 conference titles in 3 different events at conference. So it was one of the best seasons this school's ever seen.
I remember being at I was at the I live in Livermore, so I'm like about 3 hours from Cal Poly. I was at your meet against University of Pacific, and like I remember all the parents were so excited. Like they were telling me like, oh, if they win this meet, it's gonna be their first undefeated season.
Right. hmm Yeah. So that was also a huge thing. We've never gone undefeated before, and that meet was it sealed the deal for us. And the men's team didn't lose any dual meets this year, which was a huge deal.
And then you guys placed, I believe, I wrote it down, but if memory serves, it was third at conference, and the women's team was sixth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
And then I know for women they've already found out NCAA's wise, but I know there's a few people on the men's team who hit B cuts. Do you guys find out like Monday?
Yeah. So me and Drew Houston, we were both after our conference swims. We swam conference pretty early. I think we were one of the first conferences to swim. We were both placed pretty well in terms of making the NCAA meet. Unfortunately, it looks like we're just outside that range of making the meet, but I mean, me and Drew are both really proud of our seasons. We did everything we could, and honestly, I'm just missing the meet stings a little bit, but that just kind of shows how good of a season we had. We have two swimmers from a mid-major team, that's super close to making the NCAA meet. So, yeah, it definitely stings a little bit that we are just outside that mark, but we're definitely both still proud of what we accomplished this season and as a team as a whole as well.
Yeah, I mean, like especially for a team that like to put it probably simpler than it actually is. You guys have had a tumultuous couple of years. There's been a lot of coaching changes and a lot of like turnaround in who's leading the team. What's that been like, and how have you guys been able to like manage that while still putting on some really great performances?
Yeah. I mean, I came in my freshman year, and I've had a different coach every year I've been on the team, and we've had to be really adaptive. Every year's been completely different. But throughout those 3 years, we've gotten tremendously better from the first to the second, and this year now having a record-breaking season. Um, so we've had to learn how to grow with different coaches, a new coaching staff, a lot of changes, especially with our budget and things around us that we've had to work around. But I've been really proud of how everyone on the team has overcome these changes, and really adapted very quickly and done so as well as they did this season.
Yeah, I mean, you guys really like. It seemed like both the team atmosphere and the performances were backing up that positive team atmosphere. Obviously, I was only there at the one meet, but it seemed like you guys like were really unified and like really having a lot of fun with things.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me about like how did you guys find out that the team was getting discontinued, and like was there any sort of warning before yesterday morning?
Yeah, so we got an email the night before. I think it was around like 6 o'clock at night. The whole team got an email that the athletic department was canceling our practice Friday morning, in exchange to do a meeting. It was probably like a two-sentence email explaining that. Obviously, we kind of, like the captains on the team, kind of understood what that was about. We knew it was definitely or probably not good. So we met up the night before, talked about possibilities the meeting could be about, and we kind of came to the conclusion that it was most likely going to be about the cutting of our program. Um, we kind of let out a message the night before to our main team group chat, saying, "Hey, like this meeting, it's probably not going to be as good as you guys would want. Just be prepared with questions that you want answered from Don, the athletic department head." And so we got to the meeting. The meeting was at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my God.
Yeah, some people had classes. Other people had different things that they had to make. The whole team as a whole, we got up at 7 a.m. in the morning. We met up outside an academic building, not even the athletic building that our home is in. We met up in a classroom in an academic building. We met beforehand, kind of broke the news to the team that our program was kind of getting cut. Everyone had 15 minutes to comprehend what was happening.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was a lot of emotions, and it was really unexpected. We honestly did not, the whole team did not know that if you told us 24 hours before the meeting actually happened that our team was going to be cut, we wouldn't believe you, like it just came with it came so suddenly and so urgently that like even myself, like I haven't processed it fully yet,
Mhm.
obviously we get into the meeting and he breaks the news to us, and it's just everyone's just in shock. There's definitely emotions flowing through the room. Just our athletic director just standing right in front of us, no emotion at all, almost smiling during the meeting, telling us that our program is cut and everything we as a team have sacrificed our entire lives is just gone right there, like in that instant. Within that small, some people on the team just found out about it 30 minutes ago, had no warning. Some people didn't have senior meets. We're juniors. We don't get the opportunity to have senior meets. We never knew conference was going to be possibly our last swims ever. Um, that kind of how it affects the upperclassmen. Obviously, for the younger guys like the freshmen, like I immediately was getting emotional when I saw them the next morning because it's just so tough, swimming 1 year. We had the conference freshman of the year on our team, and I don't know, for me, like seeing him and the other freshmen on the team who are so excited to swim, and they put their everything into their 1 year of swimming, and they just don't get that opportunity for the next 3 years. And it was just really tough and so sudden that we just didn't really expect it at all.
I actually I have another tie to the Cal Poly team. A freshman on the team currently, Kristen Durr. I
Yeah.
swam with her club team and I coached her like very briefly on her club team.
Mhm.
I like seeing all the posts that you guys have been putting out. Like it's made me emotional because it's like I think about like I was so lucky with my college swimming. Like I was very privileged in that I swam for a community college. I was supposed to wrap up my swim career in 2021, and because of COVID, it got extended out to like 2023. Like, so I was exceptionally lucky in, like, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So it's just makes me so sad to see these people who are posting, like, essentially retirement posts that a day ago they didn't think was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's definitely pretty sad. It sucks seeing like the freshmen post those types of posts, like there's freshmen on our team posting like I'm devastated. I never expected this to happen. And you never want to see that happen to anyone, any college athlete, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, to just be cut just like that and not even expect or not even know like when they're gonna get cut, like just a day before it happens, and yeah, yesterday was definitely really emotional for the entire team. We got together as a team before and after the meeting. Obviously, the guys team hung out at our house for basically the whole day, just kind of coping with each other and grieving at what just happened. And so yeah, we definitely like seeing the freshmen and them and all the retirement posts happening from underclassmen and people in our class who are juniors is definitely really sad to see.
So for the people who are getting like athletic scholarships and that type of deal, do you guys still are they still honoring that? And then for like graduation, have they told you if you'll still get to graduate as a student athlete? Because I know a lot of schools have like different graduation procedures for student athletes.
Yeah, a lot of it is, to be honest, uncertain. We know that the scholarships will be honored through the end of our time here if we choose to stay. But a lot of the other athlete benefits, we were not able to get answers on, which was kind of disappointing. and we don't really know how graduation is going to work, registration, other uh, like use of facilities were also pretty much just cut off immediately, which was also really sad to see because a lot of us have big pro meets, international meets that we wanted to go to in the spring. And they didn't allow us to use the pool starting as of yesterday. We're not allowed to get in the pool. We're not allowed to go to the weight room. And it doesn't really cost them anything to let us keep using those
Yeah.
facilities. Now that it's like the off season and the coaches still have their contract for another month or so. So it kind of it added to the decision and made it feel a little bit more personal that they were cutting everything off from us immediately when it wouldn't hurt them to let us keep using the facilities.
Yeah, they were. They kind of told us during the meeting that as of as of then, we were not allowed to go to the locker room. The athletic director told us to clean out our lockers within a week, which is really tough. Like we cannot use the pool, which has been our home, or has been the team's home forever, and it's sad that it just doesn't make sense because the pool, it's a beautiful pool for our team, and it's the off season right now. No one's ever going to use it, and they're saying we can't use the pool, we can't use the weight room, we're not allowed in the weight room. We have to clean out our lockers. It kind of like we know we didn't do anything wrong as a team, and it sort of feels like we did something terribly wrong to the athletic department, and they're kind of just like kicking us out. Like I told you before, like we weren't even allowed in the athletic building to have this meeting. We had to go to a classroom away from the pool, away from the athletic building and everything, and that's where they broke the news. So that's why we feel as if it's more of a personal decision than from the department wise. So
That
yeah.
seems like pointlessly cruel to like not even. I mean, it's a really nice pool. Like I've been to the campus many times. Like I've seen the pool. It's a really nice facility. The fact that it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't cost them anything to let you guys even be in the pool or be in the weight room. I also noticed. Speaking of like personal, like making it seem personal. I also noticed they limited the comments on the Cal Poly swim and dive account. I don't know if anybody's noticed that.
I haven't noticed.
But
No.
like for me at least, I don't know how limiting comments works on Instagram, but like they limited the comments on the account, so people can't even comment in support of the team. It reminds me of like last year when the Cal State East Bay water polo team got like after their best season they'd ever had, got like out of nowhere cut. They full on deleted the account, and then when they brought it back, you couldn't comment anything on it. Like it does seem personal, and I've seen so many people saying that like the AD was like almost smiling when he was talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Which like I hate those people who are just like false positive, where it's like, oh yeah, hi, yeah. I don't like. It just rubs me in all the wrong ways that that's how they chose to handle this, was to make it feel like you guys had done something wrong after the best season the team has ever had.
Yeah, I think another thing to add similarly to how it made it feel personal is we asked him during the meeting if he could name one accomplishment that our team had this season, just to show that he knew and he cared about our team, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't name a single thing that our team had done in our best season of the school's career, and so it kind of just made him seem more disconnected from the sport than ever, and that he didn't really care about swimming or try to reason with saving the team whatsoever.
Even before the season even started, we had a meeting with him as a team inside the athletic building this time. And he said word for word, like if I wanted to cut you guys, like I would,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of showed where his perspective stands on the team. I just transferred here. I spent one season on this team, but I've heard many people tell me that our athletic director doesn't really have a positive outlook on the swim team. And I kind of got that towards the first meeting as soon as I got here. So yeah, but that's, I mean, and for people that's been here longer than I have, they've seen more than me. But for me personally, like being here just a year, transferring in from a different school, I definitely found his behavior and his outlook on the team very shocking to me.
I like I theorized, and now I look back on it, and I hate that I was right about this theory. I theorized that the team might be getting cut last July when like we visited campus for orientation for my brother. because there was like this huge athletics banner
Mhm.
over by like the student store. I don't know that I know where stuff is on campus. I don't know the names of things. Over by like the student store and like where like the Panda Express and the Chick-fil-A are, like those buildings.
Mhm.
And all the other sports were listed on it except for swim and dive. Like they had the schedules for every single sport except for swim and dive.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I think I posted about it on my Instagram, or like I put up a story being like, hey, why isn't swimming represented on here? But like I told my mom, I'm like, are they gonna like cut the swim team? Like, why are they not? So I looking back on that, I hate that that theory was right.
Mhm.
But yeah, that I don't. Usually I have something to add. That just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like that's the only thing I can say is that like just really sucks because it's awful whenever anybody's not able to swim, and especially like the way they chose to go about this, like cutting you guys off from the pool, cutting you guys off from the weight room, like telling you you no longer had a team is one thing, but then cutting you off from stuff like that makes you happy, that makes you like that gives you a reason to work hard is so just wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
mean, yeah, for I don't know, for most of us, like the swim schedule and the swim team is like why we get up every morning super early to go swim in that pool with each other. It starts our day and we do it 1 to 2 times a day. It's like a huge part of our lives. And it was stripped so fast that a lot of us don't even really know what to do like when we wake up anymore. Like on Monday, we're gonna have to wake up and we can't go to practice. We're just gonna have to figure out other things to fill those gaps. And it really hurts that they couldn't give us the empathy to continue something that was so important to us at pretty much no cost to them.
yeah, and definitely feels like there has been no empathy and compassion from them as well. I even asked them during the meeting, because I'm a transfer. I transferred from West Point, Army West Point, and that's basically to come here. I had to sacrifice a career in the Army at such a prestigious school. I trusted the athletic department and Don especially to keep this program because I came here on a visit. I saw the people that were here. I saw the work ethic. I saw the trend that the team was going up. So that made me want to come here and sacrificing an entire career at West Point, at a prestigious school, a career in the Army, just to come to this team and swim and hopefully propel my swimming career as well. I feel like I had a pretty good season too, helping the team tremendously. And I just feel like this is the start of, I feel like I'm starting to gain my fullest potential in this sport. And it kind of sucks just knowing that that was stripped away from me in less than a day. I don't know, like, I don't know what the next options are. And there's been multiple people on the team that sacrificed a lot, but for me personally, I feel like it's a really big hit towards me, especially since I left a different school to come here to pursue my swimming career, and it sucks now with the possibility of leaving something where I feel like I can get better in. It's a terrible feeling, knowing that I know I can get better in this sport, but I'm forced to step down from it just because of the decisions that the athletic department made. So
Yeah, I mean, like that, like when I was reading up about the team, like that kind of struck my mind of like the fact that you transferred here, and like I recently transferred myself, so I understand like on a smaller scale at least. I transferred from Hayward to San Jose, so it's like a 45-minute difference.
Mhm.
But like on a much smaller scale, like I understand the difficulty of transferring and all the logistical things outside of just being an athlete that go into it. So to go through all of that and then less than a year later be told, "Hey, we don't have a team anymore. I know we recruited you to come here and we wanted you to come swim for us, but we don't have a team anymore." Like that's insane that that's the situation that you guys have been put in now.
Yeah, and also for we have incoming recruits. We recruited a pretty talented class for next year. The guy captains actually just had a meeting with them like 2 days ago, saying we're excited for them to come, for them to stay in shape during the summer. We're going to get right back into it for the next season, and it's just a terrible feeling sending a text to them yesterday, like, hey, we're so sorry. We did not know this was going to happen. You know, these are kids that are really talented kids that could possibly swim elsewhere, but they decide to come here. And the fact that they had no warning as well from the athletic department that this team was getting cut, and it kind of puts them in a really unfortunate situation since they devoted all their time and efforts to swim and come here, and now that's shut off as well without any warning. It's just really unfortunate. So sending a text to them yesterday from with our captains and newcomers group chat, just saying like, "Hey, we're so sorry, guys. We did not know this was going to happen," and we're actually meeting with them again tomorrow, just to answer any questions that they have and express to them and be truthful with them on what actually happened and how this came to be. So it's definitely really sad for not only like the people on the team, but for the people that were planning to come to the team as well, because they were all super talented swimmers that decided to come here, and we appreciate like them trusting in the team and putting their faith in the team to swim here for the next 4 years, make friendships that'll last a lifetime, and that just can't happen since the team got shut down. So
We even had a recruit actually here on campus yesterday.
Damn.
He had committed.
he's from Georgia.
He's from Georgia.
Oh my
He's all
God.
the way here, and that's just goes to show how like shocking and sudden all of this news was to us. I don't know who had to tell him, but
I think our coach texted our athletic director like, "Hey, we have a kid here from Georgia who's on a trip, visiting the school that he's committed to.
mhm.
Like, and you just cut us. So like, how do you like? So like, can you please inform the new recruits that the team just got cut?" And I think the athletic director replied saying like, "Oh, like you're the coaches, like you can do it. Like I don't want to do that, you know." So it's just kind of it's a little cold hearted, especially since our commit flew all the way from Georgia to a connecting flight, like because Slow's a pretty small city, so you have
Yeah.
to. So yeah, just coming here from that far, finding out while you're here visiting the school that the team has been cut, not even from the athletic director, but no, with any sympathy at all. Like he has to just find out like from our coach and from us, the captains, and saying like, hey, like we're super sorry, you know, the team just got shut down.
Yeah, that's ridiculous that like they had to have known sooner than like the athletic department had to have known sooner than being generous this month that they were going to cut the team. They had to have made that decision sooner. So the fact that they allowed recruitment to happen and like didn't make it known that what their plans were, and then like that, I'm just like if I was a coach and I got a text like that of like, oh no, you tell the athlete who flew like 2,000 miles here to come to college that they committed to, my blood would boil. Like that, like I can't, the audacity to be like, no, I don't feel like it.
It's cruel.
Yeah, it's definitely cold hearted. I think they during the meeting they told us they had an idea or a pretty good idea during our conference meet, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think we had another commit between that time from our conference to now, and they let him sign on to the team. And so if they had an idea it was getting cut, why would you let us still recruit and commit this swimmer in between the time that you cut us and the time that you guys were pretty sure you were going to cut us? So
Mm.
definitely really cold hearted and unexpected from them. So yeah.
And this is I haven't done enough research on this, but it's like my opinion that like there are so many people in college systems who are so overpaid that I'm like, in my mind, it's probably not this simple. But I'm like, maybe we don't pay them exorbitant amounts of money and we take that money and put it towards stuff like swimming and other like extracurriculars that are really important.
Mm.
Can you talk about funding?
Yeah, a big part of this issue, at least, so the athletic director, his primary reason for the cut was due to financial issues, and we knew that we had, uh, like we didn't have enough funding at the beginning of this season, and he told us that at the beginning, but he still gave us the chance to keep going with the season. So all the captains and the whole team set out with a goal to raise enough money to let us make it through the season. And we more than exceeded it. We were told we needed to raise $80,000 and we raised $85,000. We were told we weren't going to get a midseason meet, which is one of the major milestones of our season. And we raised enough money to go to a midseason meet. And so just seeing that we all had the motive to raise this money and keep the season going and turn it into the best season in school history, we were all super excited. We were really proud of ourselves, and we thought we'd done everything that the athletic department wanted us to do to keep swimming. And they are not even giving us that chance next season. Like the least they could do is just, give us another number. Let us try to raise that money. But quite frankly, when we asked him why we weren't given the chance, he just said he didn't think it could be done. And so he didn't want to let us even try to attempt to raise more money. And that's why it felt like he was just shutting us down, and it hurt a lot because he cited historical evidence as his reasons for why we couldn't raise enough money. He says in the past you haven't been able to do that, but also in the past we've had a completely different team. We have 50 new kids on the team that have different connections to alumni and families that really care about the sport. And I know that given the chance, we would be able to save the team, but we just weren't given that opportunity, which is really heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, like, coming from a small college team myself, like, I swam for a community college team. We, most years, didn't even have, like, the funding for, like, team hoodies. Like, we had, like, long sleeve tees. Like, we swim at, like, it's not a dinky pool. Like, it's a nice pool. But, like, coming from a team that is also, like, we're very low in funding. Like, we had to fundraise every year. Like, we sell Christmas trees and a bunch of random odds and ends to try to, like, make that money back. But it's like I can't get behind the thought process of, oh well, I don't think you can do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's this is the same. I mean, we we offered options, saying like because last season they hired two interim coaches. We've offered options saying like why can't you just hire like one head coach? Like that's all we need, one coach. We don't need three shirts, so we don't need four shirts each. Like just give us like one shirt, like cut everything in half. We offered that option at the meeting, which would significantly decrease the money that they would have to give us and the money we would need to continue just one more season and prove ourselves basically next season, that we can do it. I mean, he hired two interim coaches with little to no experience last season. I believe it's to try and set us up for failure. He really didn't put an effort. We had candidates last season for the head coaching position, and I I personally believe that he didn't want to hire them for them to build the team and grow like a family starting the team. And so that's why I believe he hired those two interim coaches, and it kind of backfired on him. We had the best season ever. Our newcomers to this team were phenomenal. And that kind of put him into an uncomfortable spot. Obviously, if his intention was to cut the team, and he said I think the main point in cutting our team was the Grant House lawsuit. And honestly, we're a team that has had a budget of $120,000 last season compared to the average budget of other Big West schools in our conference. We're not even talking about like Power Five, like
I think
those.
the other Big West schools have like 210,000, right? And then like you guys fundraise to make the difference.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Our budget was 120K, so that's why that's kind of like we offered these options, like give us one coach, like we need one, we only need one shirt per person, just let us keep swimming and let us grow as a team, because we've been thrown that, especially like this past year, like everything that the athletic department has thrown at us, we've overcome. We like look at the accomplishments we had. Like our team is so strong, like mentally and physically. Like our work ethic is absolutely incredible that we had this season, especially like with significant cuts already. And so this is the same athletic director that had no problem with posting on Instagram, like asking people to donate for the football team. We asked, why can't you do that for us? Why would you ask people to donate 5,000 to $1 million for the football program, who quite frankly is the worst sports team in our school? Um, why can't you do that for us? You know, post on Instagram, like raise awareness for us, try and get funding for us. And I guess that just wasn't an option for them. And he just ultimately decided that, like, yeah, that's it. Like, you guys are just eliminated. You guys are cut.
It almost seems like he had his mind made up because like the solutions you guys are giving are solutions that, at least from my knowledge of how budgets work, would work. Like going down to like one, like we had one team shirt a year. We had like occasionally a long sleeve tee or a hoodie. We'd rent out parkas. Like the entire athletic department at our community college, shares parkas. So we'd rent out parkas. We'd rent out backpacks. Like we operated on like a shoestring budget, but we made it work. Like we had a pool and we had an ability to travel to meets, and that was all we needed.
Yeah, I know everyone on this team would be willing to make huge sacrifices just to keep the sport alive,
Yeah.
just to be able to wake up and go to practice. And it's just the fact that we weren't given the opportunity to even try just really hurts because all we need is a chance. And that's what we were given at the beginning of this season, and we turned it into something great. So it would have been awesome to have that chance again.
We had really set goals next season as well. As soon as the season ended, like we on our Zoom call with the incoming commits, our goal was specifically was to have the best team this school has ever seen and win conference next year, because we believe it's a huge possibility for that to happen. We have such a talented group of guys coming in, you know, and that was our goal for next season, to win conference. And we believe, honestly, going into the meet next year, that we would be the favorites going in. And to cut the program that would be the favorites to win the conference title is
Be taken out.
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. So like obviously it sucks, knowing that goal's like probably won't happen.
Now, I know Cal Poly has a club team. Are they letting you guys at the very least, like, if you wanted to, like, would it be possible to have like sort of an expansion of the club team and like some sort of solution where you guys would still get to train and compete, albeit in a like probably like less intense environment?
There definitely has been talks of people joining the club team, but then again, club and NCAA is significantly different.
Yeah.
Some people find it like you also have to pay for the club team as well. It's
Which is
just
not possible for like it's not possible for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely a more difficult option. I don't know if anyone on the team has yet decided to branch out to the club team or not. But yeah, we do have a club team, but it's significantly different. And I don't know about Alex, but me personally, I wouldn't want to join the club team, pay money, and to basically swim in the pool that I just got cut from. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. I don't know if there's other people that are willing to do that. I think there may be a few, but as far as I know, none of the guys are willing to do that.
It's still really weird to me that they don't let you guys just like go to the pool. Like what does that cost for them to let like some people go swim? Like do they have like open lap swim hours in the pool at all, or is that just
We have a rec pool, that's really close to our pool now, but I guess like our coaches are, even though I think they told the coaches like they can like voluntarily coach. So our coaches are completely willing to voluntarily coach us for the season, because we have swimmers on this team that are talented enough to go to like tier pro series meets. We have multiple international kids who are competing for their countries this summer, and getting told that they're not even allowed to go back to the pool that they've been training in for the last years, the pool that they've been growing in, like mentally, physically, you know, progressing through the sport, and they're just not allowed to go back in there is kind of odd to me, especially since our coaches are still willing to voluntarily coach us, at no cost at all to the athletic
yeah.
department, and getting kicked out of the locker room, getting told we have a week to pack up our lockers and get out, you know, and it's just really, really unfortunate. Yeah, it's really confusing as well why they would do that.
Yeah, it like the only word I can think of is that it's pointlessly cruel to just like to very unceremoniously tell you you don't have a team, you can't use the pool, you can't use the weight room, get your stuff out of the locker room, get out. Like, it just, no matter which way I try to think about it, there's no justification in my brain. And the excuse that they gave you of, oh, it's because of like the Grant House case, it rings hollow at best, because it seems like there were more factors than just a budget that they weren't willing to like meet you even halfway on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it makes it feel personal, and the athletic director would deny it every single time you tried to ask him, but um, it all the evidence shows that there's something more than just budget at play here.
You could definitely see the outpour going on too. Like Cal Sockwell raising
Yeah.
awareness, like the swam. Like there's definitely outpour, and you could see through those comments as well, like what people believe that what this cutting is about. So I mean, it's not only like you're not only hearing it from us. Like some people outside also have a similar perspective to what we believe it is. What we
I
believe.
mean, like, my Instagram feed yesterday was like, obviously I follow like a lot of swimming related people, but like my Instagram feed yesterday was like, I'd swipe through like 15 stories in a row,
Yeah.
and it was all Cal Poly swim. Like, I mean, even now, like, you were like, still before this interview, I was sitting there scrolling through, and it's still all Cal Poly swim, Cal Poly swim. Like, people care about this team, and people care about college swimming as a whole. So it's like, this isn't something that I think maybe the athletic department wanted to just like get it over with and done and not talk about it anymore. Like, I don't think it's something that goes away very lightly.
Oh yeah, they I don't think they are ready for the outlash that is going to come from the swimming community. I mean, I was thinking about looking at this situation being another swim team in the country, and it just seems like after the season we had, you would have never given it a thought that we were going to be cut.
Yeah.
Uh, and so I think a lot of people are going to be rubbed the wrong way, and there's definitely um, going to be something to said about what's been happening.
Yeah. Well, that's everything I wanted to ask you guys about, but I also wanted to open up the floor if there's anything that I didn't cover. Like, obviously, I'm trying to use whatever. Like, I don't have a massive platform, but I'm trying to use it to elevate you guys and give you a chance to talk about this. If there's anything we didn't cover, if there's any way people can help or anything people can do, like, let them know.
Yeah, I mean, right now our goal is just to get the information out there and let them know what's been happening, raising awareness for things like this, because it's just it really does feel cruel, and we don't want this to happen to anybody else. So like I wouldn't wish this on anybody. And it just really sucks, and it feels like everything's been stripped away from us. And we really appreciate all the support we've been getting from people around us. And so yeah, I don't know, just getting the information out there and letting them know what's been happening.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that that's going to keep happening. Like, people care about college swimming, people care about this team. Like, what I hope is that in the long run this is like an ASU situation
Mhm.
where the team gets cut and people fight for it and it comes back, and then it just keeps building from there. Because
Yeah.
it's like, I've been following the team's results, and I'm like, okay, like, if people barely miss out on NCAAs this year, what's going to happen next year? Like, a couple people could qualify. Like, it's that's what I'm hoping, is that it's an ASU situation where the team comes back and they at least give you guys like a fighting chance.
Yeah. And that's what we're kind of hoping for too. Yeah, just raising awareness for all this. Obviously, we believe it was a more personal decision, but the Grant House lawsuit can also affect different programs in the country.
Yeah.
So raising awareness about that definitely helps a lot too. Just getting the word out there. And yeah, and honestly, thank you for
Of
taking.
course. No, like, it was so important to me. Like, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, okay, I need to find somebody on the team and be like, just come talk, and I will post it, and hopefully some people will see it.